Hey guys, today we're going to be making some royal icing frosting. I'm here with my assistant, aka my fiance. Hey Nick, how's it going?
Hey there. We're going to be adding some mysterious liquid to the blender.
Okay, and that's going to be warm water, 5 tablespoons to be exact, followed by
Anthrax.
meringue powder,
Oh, yeah.
which can be found at any local craft store like Joann's or Michael's. What are you doing?
The blender.
Okay, so we're gonna beat it until it's frothy and foamy. As you can hear, the blender is almost done.
Finally.
So you can see the little bubbles that have formed. That just lets you know that it's ready for the powdered sugar. Okay, so we're gonna add 4 cups of powdered sugar, and then we're going to start to mix it. It's going to take a really long time for it to mix together, and you'll find that it gets very hard, and at points it will be extremely just tough to work with. When I tried to scrape down the bowl there, it's just very sticky, and at points it's going to be very granular. As you can see here, it's just kind of like a cottage cheese texture. But it does eventually become a little bit more smooth, but it should still be very firm and have very stiff peaks.
Yeah, some of the issues we had were the blender goes pretty fast, so the edges of the whisk were actually hitting the speed of sound. Just like right here.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
Obviously,
an upgraded KitchenAid.
obviously we have the best of the best.
It's a Marone engine inside there.
What I'm showing you here is just that the peaks are very stiff. It doesn't flop over. It's not super thin of a consistency. It's almost like a marshmallow fluff kind of a consistency.
This is also a great time to taste your product.
And whenever you're not working with the frosting, you want to make sure you cover it with a wet cloth so that it doesn't dry out. So you can see here, I added a little bit of water, a little bit at a time. A little bit goes a long way. You want it to be about the consistency of toothpaste. But it's not going to taste like toothpaste.
Oh, thank God.
So what we're going to do next, we're going to add our food coloring. So I was working with a gel food coloring. It's a lot stronger than a drop food coloring, so you want to be really careful with it, and you want to make sure that when you're not working with it, that you cover it back up, because you don't want to spill it.
That's right. I learned the hard way.
Yes.
We won't talk about it.
Yeah. So we go ahead and we mix it up, and I found that the little bit that I did mix off the end of my cake tester was not quite enough for the green that I was going for, because these are Christmas cookies. I wanted a little bit more of a forest green instead of a mint green, so I added just a tad bit more here at one point, and that seemed to be just enough. Was just 2 little drops off the end of my cake tester.
What, a cake tester?
Yeah.
I thought that was some sort of probe.
It's a little needle that you stick into a cake to make sure your cake is done, Nick.
Sounds like a probe.
So in the back here, you can see that I have a cup with my pastry bag with a tip on the end of it. Now, I don't know the exact number of the tip, but it's a very small round hole on the end, because we're going to be doing the outlines for the cookies first. And we're going to mix again in a second here. And remember, you just want to make sure that all the color is nice and incorporated, so that when you're doing your outlines, you don't have any darker or lighter areas of the outline. Right, Nick?
That's right, Rachel.
And later, you're going to see me and Nick go head-to-head in our frosting skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think won that one?
Obviously I did.
Well, I guess we'll have to let someone else decide.
Yeah, we'll let the audience be the judge.
Alright, so mixing it up. Again, want to make sure it's that toothpaste-like consistency, and then you're going to spoon it into your pastry bag. Is that a sound effect?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sound effects brought to you by... Never mind. We don't have a sponsor.
Okay, so here we go with our first outline. I started off with the trees, because they're fairly simple, easy lines, just straight lines. So if you are noticing the difference in these two cookies, you can go back and watch the last video I posted, which is the Aldi's versus Betty Crocker cookie test.
Yeah, I'd say the Aldi's ones tasted better. I'm a huge Aldi's fan myself. Not just because of their cookies. In fact, I don't really eat cookies that often, but pretty much because of their low prices and awesome food.
Not a sponsor.
But we're open to it.
For sure. All right. And it's okay to make mistakes here. As you can see with that gift, I had a little bit of an error. You just take care of it and connect the dots. The outlines aren't really too big of a deal.
I mean, until the competition's on.
Right.
That one had a tail.
So here I emptied out the rest of my medium consistency icing, and I'm adding a tad bit of water to make it a more thin consistency. And what I'm going to show you here is that it's a 5-second icing. What I mean by that is it takes 5 seconds to return once you disturb it to its flat consistency. So you can see there that it returns in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm
Back to normal.
learning a lot here.
Clearly.
I did not know there's so much into icing.
Yep. So,
Push, 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 push.
thank you. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
So as you can see, I am just filling in the blank with the thin consistency, and then I'm using my cake tester to just push it around, push it to the edges, stir out any air bubbles that there might be, and shake out the rest.
Mm-hmm. Sound effects are optional.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting into movie sound effects?
I'm pretty sure they couldn't afford me.
Oh, how much do you charge?
Astronomical price, but
I feel like we should have discussed this before I hired you to do this.
you'll find out in the marriage.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now I'm adding some sprinkles for decorations. Trying to simulate some Christmas lights here.
Yeah, we don't want these trees to be naked.
Of course not.
Or leaves.
And of course, we've got our little piece of mistletoe, so I added a couple little pieces of red at the bottom there.
Alright, now we're talking.
So now I've got some pumpkins going, because this was around Thanksgiving time when we initially made these.
Competition time. Here I am. Look at me go.
Yep. Wow. I'm glad you're doing that on top of a takeout container.
Mine's a scary pumpkin.
Yeah.
There, look out.
Yeah.
Some teeth.
You know you're filling in the wrong parts, right?
It's a reverse sketch.
Yeah. Okay. And back to me. I will say for the pumpkins, I found it really hard to discern the difference between the outline and the fill-in. So I don't know what my problem was there, if my consistencies weren't different enough.
I think you're doing great, babe.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
And then we've got the turkey here, all brown, because of course I'm going for a realistic look.
I'd eat it.
Thank you. So, again, had the same problem here that I did with my pumpkins, not really being able to discern between the line and the fill-in.
And that's where it really pays off to know the difference between your 2-second frosting and your 5-second frosting.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you would know.
Yes, I'm a recent expert at these things.
Yeah. How do you like my snowflakes?
They're way too perfect.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
I'm sweet like my cookies.
Your cookies.
Well, who else eats them?
And next up, we've got our mittens, which are some of my favorite things to decorate.
Yep. Rachel needs as many mittens as she can get. She gets pretty cold.
That's true. I am very cold all the time.
Yep.
But that's why I've got you.
Yep. I'm a heater.
That's right. That's why I picked you.
And now I'm going to get replaced by an electric blanket tonight. That's
not
modernization for you.
I still need you.
Yeah, darn right you do.
All right, and then up here I've got some sprinkles to add just a little bit to the cuff of the mitten on the bottom.
Oh, so pretty.
Thank you. I just went for a little bit of a minimalist design. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I do plan on making a hot chocolate bomb video soon. So if you want to see that, that should be coming pretty quickly.
Yeah, hey guys, had a lot of fun. We had quite a few laughs, and the hot chocolate bombs are delicious.
And there's the final product. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.